right on time. Hopefully this has all worked. Welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry I haven't been around as much the last month, but had a bit going on. And also I want to share with you something for those who are watching the replay later on. Keep an eye out on the 31st of October for this. If you see this thumbnail, watch this video. Put a lot of work into this with the help of Rhiannon, and it's unlike anything I've ever done on the channel, and I don't think, well, to my knowledge, no one else has done anything like this. So I hope you enjoy it. Keep an eye out for it. There's also going to be a giveaway on that video with something that I actually made myself, so just keep an eye out for that. Hit the bell, all that kind of stuff, if you want to be notified for it. And I hope you like it. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I just wanted to share that right at the start before we get into all the hellos and so forth, because a lot of time and effort's gone into this. It took multiple days and it should be fun. That's all I'm going to say. So thanks again. So 2 days from now, it'll be up. All right. If anyone has any questions, we're going to take some questions. I don't have anything that I usually like to go with in terms of the conversation from my side. I usually just follow what's going on in the chat here. So welcome everybody. John, hope you're doing well. John says he wants to go to Kmart. I don't blame you, mate. I'll be there in the next few days. No questions about it. I'm wearing something that's like, I don't even know how old this is now. I've had it for years. I need to get back to the gym too. That's one more thing that I've missed out on big time, and I can't wait to get back into that. So welcome everybody. Hope you're doing well. We've got Boris the German here. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the support, mate. All right, cool. Let's just make sure we're all good. Okay, audio all good, video all good, I hope. We got Nick, Brent, Todd, how are you, man? All right, awesome stuff. Welcome. Share, what was that at the start? I was 1 minute late. Okay, you can go back if you want. I don't want to... you know what? I'll do it one more time just quickly. So I have, for those who have just joined, just after the fact, just keep an eye out for this thumbnail. I got a short film coming up in a couple of days' time. There's also a giveaway on there as well. So if you see that thumbnail or something that looks very similar to that, I hope you like it. It's going to be fun. I've put a lot of effort into this. And you know what? It was just something creative and fun for us to do. So I hope you like it. All right. Thoughts on now a 4-year waiting list for the King of Tone. Buy a Royal Flush dual overdrive pedal. It's a far better pedal. And you can get them easily, and they're probably cheaper. I don't know why people are waiting 4 years for an overdrive. There's better options. I think they're good. Like, I've tried one years ago and it was fine. I would not wait 4 years for anything. It's just not a chance. So buy something else. There's plenty of great dual overdrive pedals out there, but my personal favorite one of all time is the Royal Flush. I've been using it till this day. Hey Shane, we all need to hit the gym. My gut will hit the gym door before I do. Yeah, that's it. There'll be a lot of people whose stomachs will be walking in minutes before them. It's pretty common. Hey Landon, welcome mate. Hope you're doing well. I just sent him a message before, so thanks, man. Which goose thumbs down the live stream before it started? I think it's probably just people who think it's live and then they go and there's nothing happening. Thumbs down. Doesn't matter. I don't care. It all helps. Hey, we got Jamal here and Fat Philosopher. Welcome. So many Australians are buying gear from me on Reverb. Is there a gear shortage there? Some stuff is really hard to get still. And I know people who are waiting months for certain guitars that just haven't shown up. There's been far more demand globally for instruments, especially over the last 2 years. So I don't know what it is you've sold, but maybe it could just be something that you can't get anywhere locally as well. It could also be that. Jamal, hope you're doing well, mate. And I'll be planning the trip that got cancelled last year or whenever it was. I'll be re-sorting that out coming up pretty soon. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see who else we got here. Brent, welcome. We had someone from Denmark here too before. I missed the chat just scrolled up, but welcome. It's probably one of my favourite Oh, yeah, there it is. Tor, welcome. great place, man. Denmark is beautiful. You know, you might have noticed, I don't know, I've got my little, I got this when I was in Copenhagen, and it was great place. Just super cool. It just sits on my little Captor X thing over here. I'm trying something different with the stream. If there's anything like unusually bad about the quality of it, let me know. I'm trying a different frame rate, and also I've changed my upload speed and I've increased it. But if it panics, let me know. All right. Morning to the insomniacs on the West Coast. Morning, and also a good evening to us idiots who drink Red Bull at night to keep the mojo on the live stream going. All right, hey, cool. All right, feel free, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to let us know. I've been working on a lot of stuff the last couple of weeks in particular. I've revisited a lot of old Boss pedals that I tested out 10 years ago. So I think they were probably, I could be wrong, but they were probably some of the earliest pedal videos on YouTube. The original ones I did were before that, when I was just doing it because there was no other videos. But I'm borrowing pretty much a full range of pedals, and I've gotten through like, I think 12 old Boss pedal videos, and I've kept them really simple too, but they're cool videos, and I've come up with like good backing tracks for them and all that kind of stuff. I think Boss pedals are just globally recognized as good, you know, good value, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they get good tones. It was fun actually revisiting a few that I thought were bland many years ago, and as your ear and playing changes and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, how did I not like this? So yeah, there's a few cool ones coming up. What's with the YouTube message saying that I'm a subscriber and everyone is going to know? So yeah, I just turned subscriber mode on the live chat here. It just makes it easier for me to keep an eye on what's going on. If I open it up too much, it can be a nightmare to try to read. So it's subscriber mode only. And I mean, I've been doing this now for a few months, so it just keeps it easy. No one will, I guess it's just obvious if you're in the chat, you're a subscriber, but you know, you can unsubscribe afterwards if you want. It doesn't, you know, do it how you want to. That's fine. No, don't do that. Stay around. All right, John says, hello to all the regulars and the newbies. Anyone who is not subbed, go ahead and sign up and you can join us in the chat. Oh, there you go. Perfect timing. Thanks, man. I Rock the Blues is here. Z Blues. You know, I don't know if I've ever checked out whether you've got a channel or that's just your username here. That's cool. Ah, Japanese made car shortage in Australia as well. Okay. Cool. So one of the questions I want to run by everybody, I've been sort of feeling like it's time to really hit the woodshed again. It's been a long time since I've really like sat down and like worked stuff out and really just dug in and practiced properly. I practice with my videos and I record and I still get to jam with folks and all that kind of stuff, but I really want to just get the chops up again to another level, and that really takes a bit of work. So I was thinking about maybe putting together like a musical vlog. A vlog, that's probably not the best word, but a series maybe is a better term, where it's all about that practice structure and trying to make your playing better. Because as you get older, I think that it's one of the excuses that a lot of people make is you can't learn as easy as you did when you were younger. And I almost think it's a bit of a cop-out sometimes. I've watched some of my other friends who are great guitar players continually get better. And I'm like, okay, so it just sort of comes down to making an effort, I guess, is the start of it all. So I've been making a really big effort on, especially on the videos that are coming up, writing new backing tracks, playing all the bass parts, all that kind of thing. But I think it might be fun to do something a little bit more driven towards playing in amongst all the other stuff. Now, next year I've got a whole different series of videos coming up. There's actually two new series of videos, I should have said, that will be awesome. But I really want to throw in some actual playing stuff again. I feel like I need that again. because otherwise the autopilot mode can kick in, and that's not always, it's not how I like to. I just don't like to sort of stick at one level or feel like I'm going the other way. So anyway, let us know if that kind of series would be of somewhat of an interest to you. Wow, Todd, you madman. Thanks, man. He says unpaid subscription for a while. Far out, mate. You don't need to do that. Far out, $50, mate. Thank you. That's crazy. No one needs to do that. Thank you. I appreciate it, mate. If I can help you at all with anything, just let us know. I'll keep an eye on the chat here, but far out. Thank you. As always, guys, any of this sort of stuff always goes back into the channel, and hopefully that shows. I'm always adding little bits and pieces to what I do here. Upgrading the equipment or having it repaired if I break stuff, which happened recently. One of my cameras fell and I smashed the screen off it. So, yeah. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, man. Thanks for all the support over the years. Hey, we've got Janice here as well. Welcome. I have a channel and I just use my name. Have a listen. Cool. Is it hard to ship out of Australia? I've looked at artist guitars, but they never offer Asian shipping. No. Well, it depends on the size of the parcel. I think more than anything, it has to go with a company like FedEx or something like that, or DHL. They'll be the only people that do it. Maybe it's just logistically hard for them to do it. I'm not too sure. But maybe contact them and see what they can do. Otherwise, mate, I don't even mind shipping you something. If they send it to me first, I'll organise it with you and you can pay for shipping and I'll get it over to you. Hey, we got Marina here. Welcome. Hi there. Good timing. Just on my lunch break. Cool. Thank you. And Todd, thanks again, man. Far out. I don't know what else to say, mate, but I appreciate your support. Thank you. Hobo Roadie, very cool name. He says, Boss pedals are extremely adequate. They are. That's right. And, some of them might not be like the most inspiring pedal out there, but there's a lot of ones that are just basically the industry standard still all this time later. So it was a good chance for me to go back and try them again and see what they were like with fresh ears and a fresh approach. Over the last sort of 6 months, I haven't done as many videos on pedals as I have ever on the channel. I just sort of let it go for a while, and coming back to them, I was like, these are really good. So I've been using the same pedals pretty much for about 2 years for myself, right? I don't often change my pedal board around that much. I'll change a delay pedal here or there, or I'll change a volume boost with another overdrive or something like that, but I don't often just completely try a new set of pedals. And yeah, I was like, man, what else do you need? So whoever was asking about that 4-year wait on the King of Tone, there's plenty of other options. Not to belittle that pedal, it is great, but yeah, 4 years that's just not good enough. You should hire someone to help him. If he's got that much demand, get some help. It makes a whole lot of sense. We've got GW Taylor, welcome. He says, hi Shane, new guitar day. Congratulations, my new Artist LP59 finally cleared customs. Loving it. Don't know how they do it at that price. Big shout out to the guys at Artist who keep me updated throughout. Oh, that's fantastic, mate. Well done. Yeah, I hope you like that guitar. It's pretty cool. I've got another Artist guitar video coming up after... Oh, the first video of next month will be like a gold top. So wait till you hear that thing, man. It's great as well. So thank you. And yeah, enjoy the guitar. They make good stuff. Landon says, I think it would be cool to figure out how to measure playing skill. Like, how do we determine that? Yeah, well, the way I look at it, it's kind of like a personal thing. And that's the way that I kind of gauge myself. I don't really look at someone like, my friend Brian, who's on a different level of musicality, or Rick or whoever. They're very different, and they've got a bigger bag of tricks and all that kind of stuff. You look at it on how you feel when you play, whether it's easy or whether it's a struggle, and what kind of creative juices are flowing, and where the inspiration level's at. That's kind of how I gauge my own satisfaction level with music and guitar. And I was getting really bored filming. I was like, oh, okay, so what does this mean? Let's write some new backing tracks. Man, it changed my attitude completely. So I thought, all right, I need more creative stuff. And, I guess some people would see music or guitar playing as competition or whatever, but yeah, you just got to try to treat it like where you're at now. Have you played better in the past? What do you need to work on? And what's challenging now that was easy a while back? That's one thing that I've noticed. I was like, I used to be able to do something on guitar that I can't do now. So I need to get my fingers moving again. And I would say I'm still playing okay live though. But it's sometimes, it's that inner thing that makes you love playing guitar, and that creative freedom side of it for me that sometimes needs a bit of, rejuvenation or something. Juggernaut says, yes, please. Cool. Well, I'll try this. I'll try some videos out. We'll see how we go with it. I haven't started it yet or anything, but it sort of feels like it needs to go somewhere else. I've found so many great guitar players over the last sort of 12 months, and some that I already knew, but I'm like, man, I'd love to learn some of that stuff, and I never do. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make an effort to do this like I did, when I fell in love with Chris Kane's playing, or years ago when I loved Tommy Castro's playing. I was like, oh, I'm going to pinch some stuff out of that. A lot of that I've forgotten, so it's time to really sort of go back and try to get some chops. Boris the German says, most of my rigs are 2x12s. Wow, okay, cool. Heavy stuff, man. My Les Paul Jr. is going to a bloke in Melbourne. Okay, cool. Do many Australians buy from Reverb? I see some Oz sellers on there, but the bulk is US stuff, and the shipping charges on anything large/heavy to Australia would be killer. Yeah, I've never purchased off there. I just don't see enough range, especially for the kind of stuff I want. I'm kind of at an advantage of being able to kind of go to the Sky Music and ask them to order me something if I need something or whatever like that. So they usually got a great selection of lefties for me too. So I never really think to buy on Reverb, and I would probably not ever buy a guitar online unless I had a real clear indication of what it is. If I was buying it blind, I wouldn't buy it. But if I knew, okay, I love this guitar, I can't find it locally, I've played one or I've seen one in person, I know what I'm buying, then I'd do it. But yeah, I just think Reverb's not that big here. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe some people buy a lot of stuff off there, but I don't. I never have. John says, a friend of mine has turned me on to Philip Sace. Have you heard of him? Yeah, I have. Yeah, actually, Rick put me onto him a long time ago. Someone asked a question. Oh, can you review a Guild Starfire Pelham Blue double cut and a Guild Bluesbird? Yeah, that's not a brand I see anywhere in Australia, unfortunately. But if I get to Jerry's next year, if he's got any lefties of Guild, I'll do them all because it's something that I haven't tried before. I haven't tried them and those D'Angelico guitars in a lefty. Never seen them, but if I get a chance to, absolutely. What do I think of Eric Gales? Eric Gales is a monster player. He's one of the best. He flows, he's got all the chops in the world. He plays lefty, but upside down right-handed guitar, like Albert King, but not like Albert King at the same time. And Joe Bonamassa, sorry, you're asking about some video, but I don't know if I've seen that one or not. But sorry, I misunderstood the question there. I haven't seen that video. What are people's thoughts on a Tele Deluxe of any series? I'm kind of interested in American 2 or made in Japan version. The American Professional 2 series guitars are pretty hard to beat. I would say they're probably the nicest off-the-shelf guitar that's easy to find. Like, they're pretty great. Pretty great. All right. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that video of Eric Gales and Bonamassa off the top of my head. Is it new? Because I was actually just watching Eric Gales live on this channel. I think it's called like Ant Trance 1 or something like that. Hey, Anjay, welcome, man. Can't have the volume on as I'm at a service station heading back from holiday. No worries, man. Hope you had a good time. I saw your photos on Instagram and stuff. Awesome stuff. Very cool. I spotted a guitar, wanted it, but the price on Reverb was higher, so I went to the guitar shop's website and got a better deal. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think... I could be wrong, but some of these used prices on guitars like overly inflated now because of the demand on the instruments. I guess that could be a big part of it, like just in terms of people kind of jacking up the price. If you can buy it new or get it, yeah, like even if you have to wait a little bit, I guess that's no big deal either. But yeah, it's kind of strange that that's the case. Playing at home, predominantly the appeal of a Strymon Iridium to get those gainy sounds is very appealing. I can never get the amps I own loud enough at home to really let them open up. Yeah, the Iridium's really good. Like Dr. Rick has used one on the live streams we did and all that kind of stuff, and we actually recorded this big jam video with all these other YouTube channels, and he used it on that, and it was awesome. So yeah, very cool. There's plenty of ways you can get good tone at lower volumes. I've done a few videos about that. I'll link it up here after the fact, and you can check it out. All right, hey, we've got some super chats here. Thanks, Anjay. Far out, man. You don't have to do that. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thanks, mate. Cheers. I owe you now, so do a live stream. Chain Strangers, thank you so much. He says, evening, Shane. Thoughts on the Supro amps? I've said this a few times. I think they make some of the best sounding amps I've ever heard, but they're too heavy. And they're a bit too expensive, in my opinion, for, like, what they are. Yeah, very cool. The Royal Reverb, one of the nicest sounding 2x10 amps I've ever played. Like, it was unbelievably good. Just way too heavy. Like, it was a backbreaker. It was brutal. I had to carry it upstairs to film it at a shop once, and it was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. It was so heavy. Secondly, the Rhythm Master amp is a very, very close second. And I think the I can't remember if that one's got, it's got a 15-inch speaker, I know that much, but I can't remember if it's got a power attenuator. I think the Royal Reverb's got an attenuator that you can either have it on max or one click under. One click under, sounds killer. I really like Supro amps. I don't really like their small practice amps so much. I think they sound a little bit on the ice picky side. But once you get into their actual like gig-worthy amps, their tones are really cool. So I hope that helps. They're the two that I like the best. The Rhythm Master and the Royal Reverb, which, man, super cool. And thanks again, guys. Thank you. I'm just going to have a quick sip of this. It's what you need at 11:23 p.m. Some caffeine. It's been a crazy day of editing today. They're saying a new video they did together. Okay, I'll check it out. Clan says, you're a monster player too, Shane. The simplicity of your chops and direct to the point approach on your musicality is somehow making it sound dynamic. Thanks, I appreciate that. I've always been more about like good clean phrasing and good tremolo or vibrato and good bends. I've never been a fast player, and you know, I started later too, so I never developed like, you know, youth dexterity on my guitar playing. I never really learnt that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've never really been that fast, but you know, listening to, you know, some of these dudes on the wall, a lot of them have that kind of approach, and you know, you tend to want to play what inspires you, I guess. And yeah, that's kind of, thank you, I appreciate it. That's a great compliment. Thanks. Hey McNasty, thanks man, far out, thank you. says, watched your studio setup video and I just wanted to say thanks for your effort and show some support. Hey, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. So a while back I did a studio setup for people who want to record at home. I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about. And yeah, it was, I think, the first, like, from the beginning to the end, everything that you need to get recording at home, like audio interface through to the computer parts, if it's not that big of a deal when it comes to computers, but software, how to hook everything up, how to record and get some results. So hey, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Cheers. Far out. Cool. Fat Philosopher says Fender's new Violin Master sold out at 30,000 USD a pop. The gear explosion is alive and well. Fender's new Violin Master. I didn't even know what that is, man. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea what that is. Copied your name and not the Violin. What was it called? Violin Master. Okay. 1 week ago, I completely missed that. Sorry. I've been working on other stuff. I haven't looked at any of the new gear. So I'll have to have a good look at that. Have I ever used the tone print option on the TC Electronics Flashback? Any favorites? No, I've never owned one, but Rick has one of those, or he had one a while back. I can't really remember exactly how he used to use that, but yeah, I'd have to ask him, mate, but I've never actually had my hands on it and used it in that capacity. I may have plugged into his once, but yeah, that's about it. Quite a few of the Australian music shops have had decent sales on new gear over the past months, but I'd like to have more access to good used stuff. Gumtree is quite limited. Yeah, the reason why Gumtree was like that, I think, depending on which area you're in, is because of all lockdown stuff, right? Like, no one's going to buy gear on Gumtree if they can't go to get it, right? So I think you'll probably see that get flooded again pretty quickly. I know I'll be listing a lot of stuff on there, not guitar stuff, just other stuff I want to sell. I got a lot of electronics and stuff I need to move and stuff like that I don't need anymore. So yeah, you probably start to see that going back to normal pretty soon. That would be my guess. Oh man, Kevin says I bought a preamp tube and they mailed it without packing it and it shattered. They replaced it though. Why on earth wouldn't they do that? That's crazy. That just makes no sense. They just cost themselves twice the amount of money in the product and then in the shipping. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Hi Shane, I saw a limited edition 65 Princeton on sale. It's got a 12-inch greenback. I've already got a bass breaker 15 and Origin 20. Would it give a different sound from what I already have? Yes. Yeah, it would sound completely different to the bass breaker. It wouldn't even be close. Bass breaker is more of like a higher gain amp, and that 15 is killer. That's why you'd buy that, is for the drive channel. But that Princeton's great. I've actually reviewed that exact one with a greenback. 10-inch speaker, lots of mojo, quite loud too. I can't remember when it was. I think it was last November or December. I did a video review of that. Excuse me. It's really, really good. And will it be different to the Marshall? Yes. It'll probably sound far better. At least clean, right? It won't have the same sort of cranked crunch tone, but I assume you want it for its Fender tone, right? So yeah, if you like good clean amps that sound great with that off clean setting around 5.5, 6, I think you'll get a kick out of it. It's pretty cool. Far out, guys. What's with the super chats? Thank you, Sean. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Good tone at low volume. JHS little black box in the effects loop of my PV Bandit 112 with the EHX Overdrive glove and Wampler Ego compressor, Marshall Magic. I almost said compressor, and I almost did it again. Compressor and Marshall together, and it didn't want to come out of my mouth. All right, so thanks. So there you go. You can get lots of good. Yeah, there's a good tip for getting low volume tone at that still sounds good. Another way to do it too, I did this video a while back, I mentioned it before. It's literally called, I think, Getting Great Tone at Low Volume. And I tried 5 different ways, and each of them were no louder than my speaking voice, and it recorded great. So again, I'll find it and put it up here later. But thank you, Sean. Far out, man. So yeah, I haven't actually tried the little black box before, and I might just have a quick look at what that is. Yeah, I haven't tried JHS pedals in ages. Oh, okay. So it's literally just like a passive, it looks like just an effects loop box, like a master volume for, yeah, I built one of these actually. They're really easy to make. You can make them for like $10. They're super cool. Yeah, very cool, man. Very cool. Thank you again. Thanks, Sean. If you have any questions, mate, let us know. But yeah, thanks for the tip there too. We've got Richard Barent, maybe the third, sorry, far out. Any experience or word on Fender mod shop stuff? I just ordered a Strat with a solid rosewood neck, and I hope it comes set up as well, as I'm paying $2,000 for it. Well, congrats, man. I've never tried one before. I don't think the mod shop sells to Australia. I could be wrong. I think it's only like possibly the US, Canada, and maybe England. I could be wrong with that, but I did hear something about that. So I'm not sure, man. I'm not too sure, but rosewood neck guitars are super cool. Sometimes they can be a bit heavy, but generally speaking, they look completely different. So well done. If anyone knows about that too, any of that sort of mod shop stuff, let us know, because I've not had my hands on them. Oh, here we go. Fat Philosopher just said the mod shop is an American exclusive. Okay, cool. Yeah, Landon said the same thing. Sorry, I'm a little behind the chat here. Chris says, Wampler Ethereal or Earthquaker Devices Dispatch Master? Earthquaker Devices pedals are really obscure. None of them are what I would consider like your straight up pedal. They've always got something in them that are just, they're really odd, and sometimes in a cool way. The best way to answer that is just listen to as much stuff of each of them as you can on YouTube and pick the one that you like the sound of the best. Because in that sort of situation, being that it's kind of like an ambient thing you're going for, that's really like subjective stuff. There isn't a right answer. So yeah, just pick the one that's right for you. All right, we've got Sonia here. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining in. Hoping 2Notes will maintain tube tone for IR loading. 2Notes Captor X is unreal. I use it on all the videos pretty much in the room here, unless I'm reviewing an amp, then I don't use it. But it just saves your ears. The tones are great. I love that thing. I ended up getting rid of the Kemper and all the other rack unit stuff I had, and that's what I've got sitting on here now. It is really good. I actually wrote a really big article on the Kemper, the 2Notes, all the different types of technology like that, because I've either had them all at my house on loan, or I've been able to get my hands on one through the companies and all that kind of thing. So yeah, the 2Note Captor X wins for me. I love it, and it works for my particular situation. But yeah, everyone's got different sort of needs, and they can also spend more or less money. So you just got to find the thing that works best for you and that makes sense price-wise. Michael B says, thanks for the Tone Master videos. Bought one last week. Love it. Cool, man. Thank you, Michael. Let us know which one you got too, by the way. That would make a great video, Shane, showing how to make a pedal like that. Yeah, I probably should have done something like that at some point. I've built a few, and one of them will be in this surprise video possibly coming up in a couple of days. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, if you've just joined, I'm going to just flash this one more time on the screen here. No bad jokes there, guys. John. If you see this thumbnail, don't forget to check it out. Put a lot of work into this video. It's just a bit of fun, so I hope you like it. There's a giveaway coming up on it as well, so yeah, keep your eye out for that. Hey, we've got DMS here as well. Welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. Fat says, playing my first Halloween party tomorrow, so I ought to be practicing. Mate, get onto it. There's nothing worse, and I'm not going to freak you out by saying this, but there's nothing worse than being unprepared for a gig. Sometimes that can work well for you if you're playing a lot and it's blues, then it's improvised sort of stuff and it doesn't matter. But when it comes down to like songs and this is your part, do your practice, man. Do it even while you watch. I've done gigs like that where I was like 60% of the way there and I just didn't learn the rest of the stuff, and I had sheets and oh man, it was just, you stress, you know the song. If you know, or I should say, if you know the song, it's a bit easier to predict the changes and know what's going on. If you don't know the song, it can be a nightmare. So get practicing. Oh, someone just said, hey, rock stars, and I can't find the comment. Sorry, the chat just went phew. Let me scroll all the way down here. We'll start from the bottom up. Hey, we got Stephen Jeffries. He says, yo, fellow lefty here. Just bought a Gretsch Electromatic Duo Jet and I love it. Cool. Did I end up keeping yours? Meaning mine? No, I didn't because it was only on loan. I should have bought it. I really should have bought that. It's sold like that. A lot of the stuff I review for Sky Music sells the next day a lot of the time, which is crazy. So, or not maybe the next day, but pretty soon afterwards. And being that it's a lefty too, if there's a lefty that wants it, it sells, right? So I still want to get one. It's been on my list for a while, so hang in there. And congrats, great guitar. Eric says, hi Shane, great to see you live again, always a pleasure. Thank you, mate. Thanks for joining in. Thanks everybody for the support on the channel over however long it's been going for, since like 2006. But I guess 2008 was when I started probably making more of an effort, or 2010 maybe, I can't remember. But yeah, thank you. Thanks to everybody. Cheers. Sonia says, hey everyone, hit the like button. Thank you, I appreciate it. It does help, thank you. I'll try and timestamp some of the stuff in here as well on the after the fact. That's why we're getting caffeinated at 11:37 p.m. here on what day is it? A Friday night here. I'll keep watching, but I won't comment because I'm practicing. Yeah, get off the keyboard, mate. Put some time into those chops. What's my go-to guitar? It's interesting because I get fascinated with one or two guitars, and then after a while I'm like, all right, time to move on. I actually went back to my 52 reissued Telecaster today with the Danny Gatton pickups, and I was like, this thing is so good. Like, I didn't even probably need the other one, but it was one of those things where the other guitar is beautiful. I'm never selling that either, but I would say that's probably close. That's not really my go-to guitar, but it's one of my favorites. I played my Flying V today as well. I'm like, I wish that was like my go-to guitar, but that isn't either. I kind of like to go where the mood takes me when it comes to playing guitars. I don't just want to play one all of the time. And you'll see coming up, like the channel. Oh, sorry about the burps here, guys. Far out. You'll see coming up on the channel that like every video will have a different, or close to every other video will have a different selection of guitars, which is fun. It's fun for me. Hey, we got more super chats here. Far out. Hey, Jeff, thank you, mate. He says, my contribution to the Red Bulls. Best wishes, Shane, and to all. Hey, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for the support, mate. I appreciate it. The caffeine addiction's been real the last 2 weeks. I tell you what, I can't wait to start getting back into exercising again to sort of balance some of this out. But I'm drinking way more water than I ever did to kind of balance out all the caffeine I've been drinking, especially lately. Just catching up on all the stuff I had sitting around. So, hey, thanks, man. It'll go right into the caffeine fund. I appreciate it. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Sorry, Van, I think it is. I'm late again. That's all right. We've only been going probably 39 minutes. I actually started right on time today. I don't know how I managed that. Kevin says, I found a 60s Suzuki classical guitar in a charity shop a month back. I haven't had a classical guitar in over 20 years. I tell you what, I'll come back to that in just a moment. I'll show you something. Bill, thank you, mate. Far out. Welcome back, man. I haven't seen you for a bit. Oh, I haven't been live streaming either. So, yeah, thank you, mate. He says, another great live stream, Shane. Hope everyone has a great day. Off to work. Thanks, mate. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. Cheers. I'll come back to that thing I was just about to talk about here. So I've got this, right? This is an old Suzuki classical guitar. It's number 700, right? This is from the 60s. So yeah, this was my mum's many years ago. I've kept it. It was obviously right-handed. Oh, it's out of tune. Yeah, it's right out of tune, but this thing is from the 60s. The strings are from probably the 90s. I need to do something about that as well. But one of my things I'd love to do with this guitar is sort of have it... Oh, sorry, I forgot I'm not wearing a lav mic. One of the things I'd love to do with that guitar is have it refinished. Or not refinished, but just tidied up. There's a lot of stuff on there I'd like to just... The frets need work, and I don't want to do it myself because it's so old. I'd love to get that fixed properly. So, yeah, classical guitars are great. They really do sound different to steel string. I think they maybe make you play a little bit differently as well. So Jeff and Bill, thank you guys. I appreciate all your support. And Jackie as well, thank you. G'day mates from Chicago, Shane, doing the live. Oh yeah, well, hey, thank you. Thanks for joining in, I appreciate it. From the Windy City. You know, one of my favorite movies well, actually I got a few favorite movies set in Chicago, but I recently watched Running Scared again. And that movie, I love that movie. I think as a kid seeing that, because they go from Chicago down to Florida, I think that's why I've ended up as an adult going to those places. Oh, not now, I'm not there now, but you know, over the last sort of 20 years I've been visiting the US, and yeah, Chicago is super cool. You know, I had a chance to play some blues there a while back, and it was awesome. I can't wait to do that again. So yeah, Chicago is a great city, although I don't really understand the pizzas, the Giordano's pizzas. But thank you, Jackie. I appreciate the support. Thank you. I'll just scroll back up here and take some more questions. Surprised I had power this evening. Yeah, I know, I heard. Don't worry, it goes out here often enough as well. Yeah, so many people get their power out with all the trees that come down and so forth. Oh, someone was asking about a treble bleed on the Gretsch. Okay, so Dougal, Dougal says you can get around that by using the master volume rather than the individual volume controls. You're right. It's something that I heard about. I think maybe you mentioned it to me. I can't remember, but I did read that on a comment. So, yeah, you're right. As you turn the individual pickup volume down, it needs a treble bleed, but the master is different. So, yeah, there you go. Cool. I'm playing my V tomorrow. Very cool. Sorry if I missed your questions, guys. Let me just scroll back up here. Steve Rezor says, don't go Wolf Creek. Looking forward to the upcoming video. Yeah, it's just a little bit of fun. A bit of lighthearted fun. I hope you like it. It's fun. Yeah, obviously, if you've seen my wall here, you know I'm a horror movie fan. I like the classic ones, and I also like a lot of the stuff in the 70s. The Italian horror movies, which some people might sort of go, what? There's Italian horror movies? If you're not involved in, if you don't know the I guess the horror niche, you know, it's a genre that a lot of the great effects come from the old Italian horror movies. But yeah, like some of the stuff that's on my wall here are those movies there. But I also like some of the old black and white ones as well. It's just, yeah, it's something that I've always enjoyed. So we've put together something that I hope you like. All right, let me just pan down here. Pan down. Let me just scroll down. James Richardson says, oh, he's talking about a pedal. Boris the German says milk run. Okay, cool. Oh, well, thanks for the support, Boris. Cheers, mate. All right, I've ended up scrolling way up the chat here. Far out. All right, I'm starting from here. Arcos55, thank you, mate. I appreciate the super chat. He says, would you be interested in a 4mm pick? Enjoy your content. Chicago here. Stuffed pizza is for tourists. Well, I play thanks for the offer. I play these still all these years later. Is this going to focus? Chicken picks, 2.6mm, which I never thought I'd play a pick fatter than 1mm, but these I've had since they showed up, and then I ended up buying some more, and they've just stood the test of time. They last forever. There's a 3.5mm one that they make as well, but it's a bit hard. It's too small. If it was fatter, that would be great, right? If it was like bigger, like a regular pick size. So a 4mm one, depending on its sort of shape or whatever, would be kind of cool. So if you want to send me any information, mate, just shoot me an email at intheblues@outlook.com, and same goes for anyone else too if I miss your question here. And yeah, feel free. I'll just type it in so you can contact me here, and I'll check it out because it'd be interesting to see what they're like. And thanks for the super chat, mate. I appreciate it. I'm happy to buy it as well. Like if it's you don't have to send it out for free. Just let us know what it is. Thank you. Thanks again. I thought you were about to say your favorite movie was Calamity James with Doris Day. No, so like Blues Brothers, obviously set in Chicago. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, set in Chicago, and Running Scared, the best of the three. No, it's not the best, but I love that movie. I've been watching it since I was a kid. It's maybe like the one movie that no one knows about as well, like Running Scared. Let me know if you've seen that. It's such a great cop movie. It's one of the best. Texas Bootlegger says, morning Shane, have you ever been asked to rate guitar manufacturers? Have I ever been asked to rate guitar manufacturers? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, do you mean that they've asked me to say something about their products or something? Or I'm not sure what you mean. Or as a company, is that what you're asking me? So the way it works, if I get sent anything or if I get to borrow anything, no one has any input into my videos, nor have they ever had input into those videos. Some of the stuff I get is great. Some of the stuff I get, if it's really, really bad now, I don't even bother making a video because it's not even worth my time. I just have it sent back. But I'm not sure what you mean by rate guitar manufacturers. So I write a lot of reviews, but that just comes from experience, either owning, playing, or borrowing stuff. So that's about it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what you mean. But just let us know and I'll reply again. Sorry, I was just someone's talking about Elvira. Yeah, well, I haven't seen her lately, but I think she was probably younger than everyone thinks she was a long time ago, possibly. Why do you think that budget Chinese brands aren't making clones of amps the same way they do guitars and pedals? Would love to see Joyo make something faithful to I think that's supposed to say Princeton or Deluxe Reverb. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, good question. Maybe reliability, possibly. Fender moved some of their amp manufacturing to to China. Sorry, I was talking about Chicago before. And the stuff was not good. I'm not talking about the Fender Mustang amps. I'm talking about their valve and tube version amps. So they just weren't as good. So who knows? I'm not sure what. Not all Chinese amps are bad though, right? Like some of that stuff's actually pretty good. I think Vox make their stuff there. So yeah, good question. Who knows? Maybe it's more about like a shipping convenience. I wouldn't be surprised, like, you can pack 50 things in a box or you can pack one. So there's probably some of that thought process there, I would assume. What are my thoughts on orange combo amps? I played one that I really liked and I played one that I didn't like whatsoever. The 30 watt orange amp I tried recently on a Keys to the Guitar Shop video was awful. Like, it's supposed to be a clean pedal platform, and it wasn't good. It was just, it got buried in the mix. It didn't handle the pedals well. It had no clean headroom. But their larger one, I think that was like a 40 watt one, was awesome on the clean channel. So yeah, I've had mixed experiences with those amps. I think the Marshalls are probably a better option, generally speaking. Not all of the time, but something like a DSL has a good clean channel and a really usable drive channel. Or if you get a 40, you've got a power attenuator, and then you get that ultra gain channel as well. So you get a whole lot of stuff. Orange amps are good, like if you want to play really heavy stuff, but their cleans are a bit, they're all right. So I haven't played enough of them to really just give a blanket statement like, oh, they're all no good or they're all great. I've had like a 50% success rate with them. But the last one I played was back-to-back. I think it was their 20 watt amp versus, it was a 20 watt amp actually, whatever, I can't remember what it was called, but I compared it up against the Marshall DSL-20, and the Marshall was infinitely better. It wasn't even close. So yeah, I know what I would play, but yeah. Steve says, I've seen Running Scared with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. Hilarious. It's so good. The cast is just awesome, man. It's one of those, like, I could watch that. I've watched it a lot, but yeah, it's super cool. Hey Shane, any experience with Mesa Boogie? Just got a Recto Verb. It sounds like a horrible name, doesn't it? 50, and it's great. Yeah, I've played a lot of Boogie amps, but I've never actually owned one. That may have to change at some point in the near future. I've got a couple that I really love. My friend's got a Studio 22, which I borrowed and reviewed on the channel. That was great. Another friend of mine, Dave's got a Fillmore 50. I'm going to say a Fillmore 50, and that thing was just... I didn't like it at the start, actually. It's got this kind of hard sound to it, but you crank it up and it sounds great. But my favorite one that I've tried, and I've only played it in a shop, I actually haven't played it live, was the California Tweed. As good or better than every clean Fender or Supro amp you've ever heard, but just twice the price. So yeah, that thing is pretty special for Boogie. It sounds completely different to how I would usually hear a clean channel on a Boogie amp. But I mean, some of them do clean pretty well, but it's a real clinical kind of clean. And then you got some that do that off clean thing extremely well, like the Studio 22. But the Fillmore, beautiful. But yeah, I haven't played the one that you've got there, mate. So, but yeah, congrats. Super cool amps, very good. And you know, you don't even really need to use any pedals with them if you don't want to. But that's one of the best things about them. Sonny says, please hit the like button. Let's get Shane trending on YouTube. Well, I'd love that. You know what? I don't know. I've had one video that kind of went semi-viral maybe 6 months ago, but that was it. But no, it's all good. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't think this channel's ever going to really do any of those crazy high traffic videos, but I just keep plodding along doing my thing. It's good fun. Oh, chat just scrolled. Sorry, let me just go back, see if I missed anything. Donnie Brooks says, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I love your blues and horror posters in the back. I'm a huge fan of the Universal and Hammer horror films. My favorite is the Fulci poster. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It really is when it comes to horror movies. I'm a big fan of like Suspiria and, man, Demons, and there's so many movies around that time, and the 80s especially, that I loved. But thanks. That, for those wondering, it's that one down near Mark Knopfler there. I love it. The, what do you call it? The makeup and stuff is fantastic. One of my favorites. I'm thinking about, you know, I guess the lighting in here makes the room look a little bit 80s. So I'm thinking about getting a couple of different posters in that feel, maybe go for an 80s theme for a while. Just, you know, all the cheesy 80s stuff. Like the Mark Knopfler poster will stay, but I might get a few done slightly larger. And obviously got the Vice City thing here. Up here, yeah. So Demons is up the top here. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought, why does it have to be all music stuff? Like, I'll just start throwing in random things, and yeah, you can get all of this, for anyone wondering too, you can get all of these pictures on Google. Just type it in and sort by largest first and go get it printed and laminated somewhere locally. Valve amps are hard to make cheaply. Transformers, tube sockets. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it could be. It could be that. Plus the physical, like I said, the weight of getting them shipped too is brutal. Sorry, hopefully I haven't missed anything here. So I was talking about a car. What? Less than 100k miles on a 91 Civic. Oh, it's from Boris the German. There we go. Very cool. Sorry, I'm reading backwards. That's why I was like, oh, what did I miss here? Hi Shane. Oh, this is from Dougal. He says, would you consider the artist guitar tweed tone to be a clone of any particular Fender amp? No, they're not. And they are made in China. Back before all the, all the stuff happened globally, yeah. So, great amps, man. They kill the Blues Junior. Tone-wise, volume-wise, flexibility in terms of the sounds you get out of them. It's basically like a smaller version of my Marshall. It really is. It's got while it has a Celestion 7080 speaker in there, it's the one of two amps I've ever played where that speaker's the perfect match. I've tried a Wizard in there. I've tried a Swamp Thing. I tried my Tonka, and I went back to the Celestion 7080. They're fantastic, and it's been so reliable. I've got three people two of my good friends own them now as well. I've got Neil, another friend of mine, Dave, who's been in the live clips and so forth as well. Another dude, Harold, who I know, who might be watching here. Harold, hope you're doing well, mate. He also has one. So I bring this to the jam nights, the blues jams. There's like 4 of them on the floor now. So yeah, and this is the thing. Like if they weren't good, I would say so, and I wouldn't keep it. But it's been great. So they're the 3 amps that I've got for playing live: the Fender, the Marshall, and the tweed tone is over there. So I'm going back to the Fender for a while on some videos. I use the Marshall a lot, but I'll be going back to the Fender amp for a bit. But yeah, the tweed tones, I can highly recommend them. They don't sound like any Fender amp at all. And it's not a bad thing either, right? Like you think, oh, I kind of like the Fender sound. Well, the clean channel is pretty good, but it's probably closer to a Peavey Classic 30 on the clean because it's got those EL84 output tubes as opposed to the 6V6 that the Fender would normally have, unless you're talking about a Blues Junior. But yeah, the drive channel it wipes the floor with all those amps. Yeah, Jeff says my doctor wants me to go for a rectoverb. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, where'd they come up with that name? Like, who decided that was a good name? I love the breakup on the Kelly Tweed. Yeah, it's also got the power attenuation thing on the front, so you can turn it down and crank it. It's built into the amp. It's super cool. Gear Junkie 35 says the Studio 22 is so good. All the tones, the Spankies, the Crunchies, the Fizzies, the Marshall Vox Fender. You're right. Well, yeah, $800. I guess you must be overseas because in Australia those amps cost a fortune. So, yeah, those Studio 22s. It's funny. My friend bought a 50-watt Marshall, and it was supposed to be like much better than his 22. The 22 it has a certain vibe about it it's really hard to beat. It's just one of those really, like, you hear it in the mix and you're like, that can't be 20 odd watts. It just sounds massive, and it's a small combo too. A little bit heavy for its size, and I think they've got an inherent like reverb tank issue that's easily fixed. But yeah, just like brutally loud, and the drive tones. It's like, why would you even use pedals? It's super cool. And I don't feel that way about all boogies that I've heard, but that 22, it's pretty cool. When you play through studio monitors, you get the same feel of a combo amp, or do you lose a lot of the amp feel? It's pretty good. The great thing about the Captor X is you can run an output back to your amp speaker. So you click a cable back to your speaker and then run it at there's three gain stages, three volume stages, I should say. Full blast, half, and like 5% or whatever the last, or 10% or whatever the last one is. And I just run it on that. So I get a mix of the amp in the room, but I can also just crank up the studio monitors. Usually when I'm tracking, it's really hard, like say tracking an intro track, it's really hard for me to use the amp cranked mic'd because I'm running the studio monitors full blast almost, and it's just not a good situation to be in at home. It gets really, really fatiguing. So that's pretty much how I do all the tracks. Hey, we've got Cheddar's here. Welcome, man, and congratulations on your live playing. Guys, go check out his stuff. He's been jamming live. Saw The Thriller's Gone, and what else did I see? The Sky is Crying. That's another one of the tunes I used to do a long time ago. Mate, when I'm over there next year, we're going to go jam. I'll go find a lefty somewhere and we'll go over play. That's super cool. Well done, mate. You took the step. It's you'll never look back. It's the best thing to do. You know, I got to play live for these broadcasts recently, and I hadn't played live in ages. And the first one, I was playing, but I wasn't really like there in my mind. And I was like, oh, I'm struggling. And I was actually playing okay, but I realized the second time, like, how into it I was and how much fun I was having. And it's such a different thing to, you know, sitting at home playing or whatever the case may be. So if you get to a certain point and you're getting bored with guitar, go to an open mic night, go to a blues jam and start playing, because there's some experiences there that you just can't get, and you'll learn so much faster. And you're singing as well, man. So well done. You know, singing and playing is a whole different thing than just playing guitar too. So start working on it, not just Cheddar, but, you know, if you haven't played out live, go do it, because it really makes a huge difference to the way you play, the way you phrase things, and how you play with other people. It's a big part of it. Because when you play to a CD, it's always the same. When you play at a blues jam, nothing's ever the same twice. So you end up in a situation where you're always accommodating to what's happening. And that's great, because it forces you to learn all these different interpretations of whatever it is that's happening. I love playing live. I love going to anywhere if I'm traveling and sitting in and doing some fun stuff at an open mic or whatever the case is. It's so much fun. So yeah, well done, Cheddar. Good stuff. Nostro says, I assume you would have no issues building guitar amps. No, I have never done one before. I built a couple of pedals. But I tell you what, I didn't really enjoy the process. I did when I got my first one working. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I built like 2 or 3 more. I was like, I don't have to, not only do I not want to put time into that, I hate the position of working when you don't have the right setup. You're always looking down on something, and it's the worst thing for your back, you know, and soldering irons get hot, or soldering irons, as everyone takes the L out overseas. But yeah, I just don't like handling stuff like that, because you get tired, you pick it up like a pen, and it's game over. So yeah. Yeah, I've never built an amp before, and I don't really want to. I'd rather just buy one that sounds better than the one that I would make. But I appreciate the skill of it. You wouldn't believe. Like, it's such a time-consuming and involved process. So anyone who learns how to do that, hats off to them, man. They've got the patience and the know-how to do it. That's awesome. Matt Doran says, hey Shane, always enjoy your content. Thanks, man. I recently bought a BFG Les Paul with P90s. Absolutely loves it. Absolutely love it. It weighs 7.5 pounds. Ever tried one? BFG Les Paul. Let's have a look. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. Oh, no, I haven't tried one of these before. Wow, okay. I can't share this with everybody because I didn't set up this browser thing. I always say I'm going to do it and I forget. So it's got a P90 neck, this one at least does, with a P90 neck pickup and a Zebra humbucker pickup in the bridge. It looks good. It's got like almost like an aged or relic top. Very cool. All right. Yeah. I know is the quick answer. I haven't tried one, so congrats, man. They look good. Let me scroll down. Oh, wow. Sorry, the chat just went. If I leave it long enough, I lose 2 pages. So apologies if I've missed your question, folks. Hey, padded pedal room here. Welcome. Sorry, I can't. Oh, there he is. You changed your logo, did you? I didn't recognize it there. All right. Good morning. I have a PV 60 watt tweed cab. Very cool. Running the EVH through a. Nice. Yeah, those EVH amps are great. Very cool. Is a Fender Player Strat actually worth the money? It's all sort of. Anytime someone says, "Is it worth the money?" It depends on so many factors. But is it a good guitar? Yes. And that's what it comes down to. So worth it means, can you justify it mixed with, are you going to continue playing guitar or are you not? There's other factors in there that really contribute to those kind of questions. But it's like saying, is this car worth it, or is, this effects pedal worth it? It really depends on your situation. So is it a good guitar? It is. And I've gigged with them. Well, I've gigged with the prior made in Mexico standard Strats and Tallies for years. So yeah, they're fine. They're really cool. Hey man, Shane, speaking the truth, I did 5 hours of gigs earlier this month and I felt like it was worth 100 hours of playing at home. Exactly. Yep. This is what made my playing. I mean, obviously practice makes you playing better, but playing live makes you so much more in tune with what actually the whole point of playing guitar is. If we're playing with other people and then doing it live, and you're doing the right thing too. You're recording everything. It's the best thing to have and look back on. I've got footage when I first played live, and I may actually share that coming up. It's something that I actually did a video about it, but I lost the file. I don't know what happened. Not the original one, but the video file. I must have formatted the card or something, but yeah, it's funny looking at that and knowing exactly where my headspace was at then compared to now, and what I know about even little things on the fretboard that I had no concept of back when I first started playing live. But yeah, just there'll be like this, like if you're playing at home and you're not really working on stuff properly, your rate of growth might be, say, at a really low incline. You go out and start playing live and there's good players around that might show you a new chord every other week, or you get to play with other people and get to understand where you fit in the mix. How much can I play before it's too much? All these little things, or not enough, all these little things will contribute to your rate of growth going way, way quicker, mate. So a year from now, if you're still doing it, which I'm sure you will be, your playing will be on a completely different level confidence-wise. That's what a big part of playing live is. It's a confidence thing more than it is just a skill thing. And I learnt this when we were in Germany a couple of years back at that YouTube thing. A lot of the great players, and some of them were great playing live, but a lot of them can't play live very well. And it was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's like you would assume someone who's very, very good on guitar can get up and play live, but it's not always the case. So that's a different skill to being like a studio guy sometimes, right? It's a very different thing. So yeah, get into it, everybody. I encourage you to go do it. Have you ever played the Monoprice Harley Benton 15 watt combo? If not, do you plan to do a review? I haven't, and I would like to try one out. One of the Harley Benton ones. I'm sure I could probably organize that. Thomann sort of usually about once a year they'll send out 2 or 3 things. Sometimes it's a bit less frequently than that, and I'm fine with that. I don't just look for free stuff all the time. I don't want junk around the house, but yeah, when it's something of interest like the guitars that I get to try out, or that amp would be really cool. I've actually tried their 5 watt head, which was really good. It was called the 5TH, I'm pretty sure. That was a great little amp. So yeah, if they were interested in that, I'd love to try one out. I might shoot the contact an email and see what I can do. The mono price, if that's the same, I'm not too sure. I have seen those before, but I gotta be honest, when I see those amp videos go up, sometimes I'm like, I can't get them here, so I'm not that interested. It's kind of weird in terms of that brand, I mean. If not music, what would I be doing? Wow. I mean, yeah, I'd probably, as a hobby, you mean, or what? Like, I would still, see, I've always had a few, well, not always, but there's things that I've always enjoyed. Sports or, weight training or something like that I've been into the last few years now, minus the last 6 months because of all the crap here that's gone on. I would still think I'd be behind the camera. I love tech, so I'd still be filming stuff, and that's part of what I do outside of this room. I would also be doing part of what I do outside of the YouTube channel as well, which is building niche websites. It's one of my little things that I do. So yeah, I would be doing probably not direct. Oh, you're asking me about music. Sorry, I thought I read that as In the Blues meaning the channel, but it's not. I would find another hobby to have that keeps me sane. It used to be sport before I hurt my back, and then I started playing guitar. So there's always something else you can really dive into. I think it would be camera equipment and filming and all that kind of stuff. I would probably go heavily into that more so than anything else. That's kind of how I feel about it. Or I would just do something completely outside of music related stuff like this. I would still make videos. I love doing it. I've been doing it since before YouTube too. So yeah, it's good fun. Sorry, that was a terrible answer, by the way. I went around in circles. Someone's asking if Charles ever sleeps. Live shows are so much more rewarding, Cheddar. Your concert footage was awesome. It is fun, man. It's so cool. We actually filmed about 2 hours worth of live playing recently, and I'm trying to get one more project done, and then I'm going to sit down and chop up the best bits and share some live clips as well, because it's something I miss doing, man. Like, that's one thing that the channel's always had, like, the live element of playing, like, which we've been doing still when we can with those Keys to the Guitar Shop videos and stuff. But, without the actual jam nights and that being on, it was kind of like, it almost, this was what I was getting at before. Without that, for me, it's really hard to keep motivated, even though it's not like a gig like I used to do. I don't care. Like, I'd still be playing live even if I had no YouTube channel. I would still enjoy playing music. And I feel like I need that to keep inspired to do stuff, because it's like the end result kind of thing, right? This is why everyone should be working towards. If you can, like, get out and play some guitar live. I'm looking for a small home tube amp, 5 watts or less. Any recommendations? Get the Bugera V5 Infinium. Let me type this in for you, Baked. And stay away from the Marshall 5-watter. It's terrible. Sorry, the Marshall Origin 5-watter. Yeah, another really good one is the Marshall DSL 5. That amp kicks ass. So I can highly recommend that. And you can also switch both of those recommended amps down in power as well. Do I miss my PV amps at all? I don't. Look, sometimes I think, oh man, I'm an idiot, right? I've had 4 PV Bandits. I've had 3 red stripe ones and a silver stripe one. I buy them and I sell them, and I'm like, man, I really miss that. I should get another one. The problem is, right, when you got more than a few of anything, like 3 amps is plenty for me. I feel like if I get another amp, something's going to sit there and not get used much. And I don't like that feeling. It's like, why have I even got it? It's just taking up, a square meter on the floor. So as of right now, I don't miss it, but maybe at some point I'll get another one. But yeah, I feel like the Marshall is like, it's so good. As great as the Peavey is, it's almost as heavy. It's probably about a third not as heavy, but it's close, right? And there's no benefit to it over the Marshall for what I like. So it's like, it's just a bit too similar. When I used to run the jam nights, that was my amp, because I didn't care if people put their drink on it or if they plugged into it. I didn't really care. If I was in a situation like that where I was running a jam night again, or other people were always using my stuff, I'd buy a Peavey Bandit, because I know they're bulletproof. But yeah, as great as those amps are, I know it would be like my third choice if I was going to do a gig. So for me right now, it's probably not worth keeping, but they are fun. Like I said, I've bought and sold 4 of them, so who knows? I may get another one down the track. First gig ever tonight. Any tips, guys? Just make sure you get your sound sorted out before you start playing, and take 4 steps away from your amp and have a listen and see how loud you are. And then you'll be good to go. Just make sure everything's working. And well done, Oliver. Good stuff, man. Same. Playing live with other musicians is the whole reason I play guitar. Yeah, totally. It's a good fun. It's like as social as it is, or sociable, I should say, as it is musical, especially with the guys that I play with. It's like Rick and Dave and Richo and Drew and all these guys. They make it fun because they're good dudes, and you can just play, and yeah, then you can chat, talk crap for an hour. Hey, Guitar Ninja, welcome, man. He says, sorry I'm late. No worries, man. Boris German says, SRV, geez, I remember growing up watching him live. Wow, cool. Yeah, SRV was a monster, man. I've been following Jimmy Vaughan a bit on Instagram, man. That guy's super cool. He's super cool. I never really got into him much when I was getting into blues. Like, I was like, oh, he's all right. I didn't really get it. And Dr. Rick's like, nah, listen to some more of his stuff. You'll get it. I'm like, okay, so now I'm starting to get it. His phrasing's great. His rhythm guitar is really something special. It is good. And it's just cool. It's just super cool. All right, what do we got here? Where do I buy my lefty guitars? It really depends. I bought some of them overseas. I bought some of them at all different shops here in Melbourne. The last few that I've got were from Sky Music. Toman sent out the Harley Benton videos for those reviews. So I was fortunate enough not to really have to source those. But yeah, Sky, yeah, just locally or wherever I travel. That's pretty much how it works. What's your thoughts on Ibanez mini pedals? I'm thinking of making my first pedal board, and I want some smaller pedals to start with. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, sound-wise, they're no different to the larger ones. It's just if you can live with the small dials. That's all it comes down to. You know, some people don't like the really small potentiometers on them. And some of them have actually good sized, what do you call them? Like caps on the pedals, like these things. Oh. Like some of the really small pedals have large, come on, get my face out of the photo. Have whatever these things are called, the pot dials things, these plastic things, caps, I don't know what they're called. So yeah, if they've got those, then you're okay. But some small pedals, like if you go back and look at the Tone City stuff, some of those pots were really small and they were hard to tell where you had them in terms of their orientation and stuff. So yeah, Ibanez, they're like Boss. They make good stuff and they sound great. So yeah, I have no hesitations recommending those. Their analog delay is really good. Obviously their tube screamer is good. I don't know what else I can think of off the top of my head that I've tried, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, Cowhide Music says Origins were very disappointing. I almost bought one, but then tried. But then I tried it. Yeah, I remember when I got the DSL, I've said this a million times, but the Origin amps were announced and everyone's like, oh, don't buy a DSL, blah, 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 wait for the Origin amps. Man, I trusted my ear for a good reason, and I was like, it was a much better decision. Look, the larger Origin amps are okay, like the 50 watt combo and the 50 watt head. They sound pretty cool, but I didn't really like their practice amp at all. It's like that 5 watt one was maybe the worst amp I've ever played, and the 10, it depends on your style of playing. The 20 with the 10-inch speaker can sound good if you're into classic rock and you can crank it. Then they sound pretty good, but yeah, not my kind of sound. So for me, I was happy with what I got. But it's all subjective stuff, it just depends on what you... Yeah, knobs. Yeah, there you go. Thanks. It's getting late. It's 12:20 a.m. So the brain working well not. I melted one of the knobs off a pedal of mine with my soldering iron by accident. Far out, man. That's crazy. James says, hey Shane, did you already speak about the Positive Grid Spark amp? And if not, thoughts? I've only on other live streams. I haven't mentioned it tonight, but it's not really an amp that I'm that interested in for myself. I remember when that was first coming out, they asked me if I wanted to do a review of it, and I just said no because it was like one of those overly complex projects. And I was like, I'm not that interested in an amp with a million effects. I just want to be able to plug in and play. So that's kind of how I feel about most amps. I don't mind some digital effects, but I don't want to be menu diving. I don't want to need a phone or a computer to get it to work. I just want to be able to plug in and maybe add some delay or reverb. That's pretty much it. So I go for amps that are a bit more like that. Now, I can highly recommend the Joyo DC15 that I tried a little while back. You don't need a phone to use it. It's got a foot switch, it's got a looper, and it will get you playing, or the Jam Buddy, which is even smaller again. It's got the bare minimum, but as a practice tool, it's unrivaled almost. It will stop you fiddling with stuff. It will just get you playing. So that's how I feel about the Positive Grid amps. And that's not to belittle people who like that stuff. I used to love that kind of stuff, but I've gone the opposite direction completely with it. Do I reckon the Marshall Studio Classic JCM 800 is worth it? I love those amps. I think they're really, really good. Some people find them a bit too bright, and that's a subjective thing as well. Rick didn't like it. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best little amps I'd reviewed here at home. So it's super cool. It's super cool. I actually did a full review about that as well at guitarpedaldemos.com. If you type in JCM 800, it'll come up. It's been a long time since I've tried it, and I can't really remember the specifics about it, but yeah, it's a really cool, fun amp once you crank it up too. Some of that brightness does kind of leave most tube amps when you start cranking them up. Thanks for the live stream, Shane. I better rest up. Good night all. Thanks, Fat. I'll be doing the same thing pretty soon on it. I'll wrap this up in the next 7 minutes or so. Everybody, thank you again for all the support. And if you joined late, don't forget on the 31st, which is not, well, it's the 30th technically now, but the day after next, however you want to look at it, depending on where you are, I've got this little video coming up. If you see this thumbnail, please give it a watch. Appreciate it. And if you can, please leave a comment on there as well, or share it out if you enjoy it, because a lot of work went into this project. I hope you like it. I've tried something new, and if it goes over well, I'll do more coming up, maybe once a year or something like that. All right. Yeah, see, DMAX says, I can dial my Origin 20 in for rock tones with pedals really well, especially cranking it at lower volumes. So those amps are good if you want to do that kind of style. This is the way I look at it, like Brett Kingman, right? The other Australian YouTube guy. He's one of the masters at getting those amps to sound great. It's not my strength. Like, I don't play those big rock and roll riff things very well whatsoever. So his style of playing and the sound that works for him, he kills it on that amp, and it can sound great in the right hands. Like Dr. Rick would be able to get a much better sound out of that than I could ever. So it depends on the kind of tone you're going for, and if you like that sound. Like Rick always loved tweed amps without any reverb, and I'm not a big fan of that, right? But he made it work. So yeah. I tried an Origin 20 and really liked it, but went for a Laney Super Cub 12. Okay, cool. As it broke up a little easier, which is better for me. This is the thing. It all comes down to what works for your situation, what you really need. You know, just because something's got more watts doesn't always make it a better solution for, you know, if you're just jamming at home. So yeah. You look like you're about to receive your reward for your Vampire Masters there. Hey, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's a good fun little video. It's nothing too serious. I hope you get a laugh out of it. Has anyone? This is from the Josh. He said, "Welcome back, welcome, mate." If I didn't say hi before, sorry. Has anyone had a lot of fake? Has anyone had a lot of fake accounts responding on comments on my videos? Yeah, they're everywhere. They're not just on mine, but they are on. I've seen them a lot. I've been banning a lot of accounts, but they're bots. So what they do, they take someone else's reply and they just repost it under the comments. So if you see those accounts, just report it as spam. You can click the dots and then hit report as spam, and that will really help as well. Thank you. I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing it on a lot of videos around YouTube, and a lot of people are having the same problem. So yeah, it sucks, but this kind of stuff gets rectified eventually. It just takes a while. So thanks. Hey, thanks, Bruce. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Nice Les Paul in the picture there. Very cool. Yeah, and everyone else, thank you for all the super chats, all the questions, all the support here. Appreciate it. And Bruce, mate, if you have any questions, feel free to add in the blues me, mate, and I'll make sure I answer it before we wrap it up. Wow, cool. All right. I was going to see if I've got another picture I could share here. Yeah, no, I think if I share the other one, it's going to give it away. So I'm not going to do that. Yeah, if this video goes over well, I've got a lot of behind the scenes footage from it as well. Like the everything from the planning to, you know, the outtakes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know, man. I've been wanting to do something different for a while, and I thought, what can I do that's completely different to everything else I'm seeing in the guitar niche, and also what would be really fun for me to do. And yeah, I got some help. Rhiannon's helped me with the video side of it, and she's in it as well because she's much better in front of the camera than I am. But yeah, it came up pretty cool. So I hope you like it. And Bruce, thanks again, mate. I do appreciate the support. Thank you. Dale says thumbs up. Thanks, mate. GRB Aquatic says, I got the Joyo Jam Buddy from Artist Guitars on sale. It's awesome, very fun with delay and drive effects. Very well made and sounds amazing. It's awesome, hey, and you got that built-in rechargeable battery, which is cool. So you can plug it in, power it up, and have it anywhere without the need for a power supply. It's super cool. It's very, very cool. All right, let's see if there's any last minute questions here. We're going to wrap it up in 2 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for all the support again. I did say that before, but if I missed your question and you've asked a few times, feel free to leave it in the actual chat section of the comment section, I should say, and I'll get back to you if I missed it. Sometimes the whole thing just moves. It's a pain. Have I tried the older Epiphone SGs? How do they compare to the new ones? Yeah, I have. I've owned actually an Epiphone SG before, and they pretty much always were the same. There was always, like, in lefties at least anyway, there's always the red one that scratched really easily, and that's all they had for a long time. The new ones are much, much better guitars. Like, visually, I mean, they might not sound any different, but there's a visual aspect to guitars as well as the way that they feel. And I don't think Epiphone have ever made better guitars than they have in the last sort of 15, 18 months. They're making some of the best stuff you can get. Like, you can play any of these live and have no problems with them. And all the videos I do here, I don't set anything up. I just unbox it a lot of the time or take it out of the whatever the story is, plug it in, and I do the video. And they play great. So one of the best SGs I played was the Epiphone Alpine White one, I think it was really, really good. So, yeah, I much prefer the newer ones, but the other ones are still fine. They're playable and they'll get you through the gig, or they'll be fine to play. But as a lefty, we had no other options until recently. And even just from what I see about Epiphone guitars in general, they're much better now than they ever were. Well, I mean, I haven't played, ones going back 40 years, but yeah. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for hanging. Dennis, sorry, I read two names there. Thanks, Dennis. I appreciate it, mate. Have a good night. All right, we might wrap this up. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I'll take this last question here. From, is it Zeasley? Is that how you pronounce that? Thinking of buying the New X steel string pedal and the Alma Cambo pedal for my tweet tone. Reckon it'll sound good. Yeah, I think you'd be best using it on the clean channel without crank the master volume up, run the clean channel up to a point no more than about 12, and it should sound pretty cool. I think the Alma Cambo pedal will sound better in that amp. That's just my opinion. I think the mid boost blues sound works a treat. So I would say that's probably one of the best matches for that amp. It really does work well. I haven't actually tried the other one in that amp before, but I have tried that pedal, and if you want to go for a dumble sound, they're pretty good too, but I don't know how well those two pair together. You might find on the amp you need to sort of dial back the low end a little bit for that pedal, but see how you go. All right, everybody. Thanks again. I appreciate all the support, and we're going to do a live premiere on this video when it comes up. You'll know it when you see it. I'll schedule up probably like an hour before it actually goes live, so everyone can thumbs it down. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah, whatever the case is, but yeah, we'll work it out so it goes up early. I'll put a thing on my feed so you can know about it. But click the bell. If you click the bell for any video, do it for this next one. And again, there'll be a giveaway on it from something that I've made that will go anywhere in the world to whoever wins it. So, all right, rock on, everybody. Take care. Thanks again, and we'll catch you on the next one. I'll see you in a couple of days. More videos are coming up after this next one too. I've been sort of scheduling stuff up after that now. So take care, folks. Thanks again.